Hello everybody, my name is Aaron Collins and this is another edition of me addressing worldly issues in a godly way. Police officers are supposed to be hired, trained, professional public servants of the communities to which they serve. Now, as public servants, they're supposed to, once again, serve and protect the servant. To serve and protect the public. Because our tax dollars are paying their salaries. However, when one of these public servants gets out of line and does something that's completely counter to the service that they provide, something's supposed to be done about it. I want to say all that to talk about another incident involving a white police officer and a young black male. A couple of days ago in Balch Springs, Texas, a 15-year-old young kid named Jordan Edwards was fatally shot by a police officer in an incident that was completely taken out of context. Balch Springs police officers received a call of some teenagers being rowdy, and a gun supposedly was at the scene. Once upon arrival of the scene, they said they saw a car full of teenagers. That this car backed up toward the police officers, and that's when the cops opened fire. However, it was all fabricated. But one of the police officers had a rifle. The rifle was used to shoot a 15-year-old child. The child died instantly in front of his brothers. His name was Jordan Edwards, as I mentioned before. He was 15 years old. But why was a rifle used? And why was deadly force even used? My thing is this, that the police officers have always been trained to look at black people differently. They look at us as if we are big game. They treat us as if they're going on an African hunting safari and hunting for the big five. They've always had this mentality toward us of shoot first, ask questions later. So upon the incident, the chief of the Balch Springs police initially took the word of the officer, said that the teenagers backed up in the car toward them, and that's when they opened fire. However, after the chief looked at the video cam footage himself, he found out and realized that there was no car backing toward them. The fact that the kids were actually back driving away from the officers when they opened fire, and that the officer fired from the side door, from the passenger side door. Once again, why was a rifle used? This is the mentality that the police use when it comes to dealing with us. They use these really violent tactics, even for something simple as traffic stops. They use really violent ways of handling a situation when it comes to us. It's like they don't come to preserve our life, they come with the instant idea to take our life. 44% of victims of police brutality have always been black men, but yet we make up 6% of the United States population. 6%, see this? 6% of the population of the United States. But we account for 44% of all victims of police brutality and fatalities. Now, in addition to that, the two officers that were involved in the shooting of Alton Sterling last year, Blaine Salamone and Howie Lake II, will not be facing any federal charges at all whatsoever. The Justice Department claims that they didn't have enough evidence. However, it doesn't mean they're not going to possibly be convicted, because they still have to go deal with the state charges. The Attorney General of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, said that they're going to conduct an investigation of their own with the help of the Louisiana State Police. So hopefully that their findings can come up with something conclusive and come up with something that's satisfactory to bring closure to this. Because he died unnecessarily as well. And for those of you who didn't see the video, well, I saw the video. In video, they claim that he had a gun, that they put a gun out of his back pocket. And even if he did have a gun in his back pocket, he wasn't about to use it because the police had him pinned to the ground. But yet he was fatally shot. One of the officers, Salamone, even said and stated that when they first approached Sterling, he had his gun to his head, and even uttered this saying, this is a quote from Salamone, that "I will kill you, bitch." That's what he said. And then they wrestled him to the ground. See, this is the type of mentality that they have toward us when it comes to dealing with us. I mean, what's it gonna take? Also, in the news, Michael Slager himself. Michael Slager, for those of you who don't know who he was a cop in Charleston, South Carolina, that was caught on video murdering Walter Scott, and he shot him in the back. Well, and this is actually something that's a relief to me. Slager actually pled guilty. He admitted to what he did. He was taken out of the courtroom in handcuffs, so it looks like justice is being served. Yes, he came clean about what happened. Walter Scott knows another black male. He was pulled over for whatever reason, but because he supposedly owed child support, which I don't think that's what Slager put him over for, he took off running, and that's when Slager opened fire on him, shot him in the back multiple times. As I stated before, when it comes to dealing with us, police have a different approach. They have a different method. They come to us with such violent extremes, which is why we as a community, we must unify. We must be strategic. We must come together. I don't know how many times I have to state that, but it's been stated before that we got to come together like never before. Because these police are race soldiers who want nothing more than to destroy us and to cut our lives short. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Going back to the earlier story, the murderer of 15-year-old Jordan Edwards, Roy Oliver, has been relieved of his police duties and let go the force. Now, what we need now is for him to be brought to justice. Now, thank you for the Balch Springs Department for firing him, for letting him go, but now justice needs to be served for the Edwards family. He needs to be tried, he needs to be sentenced in any manner of way that you would sentence any other person that's committed a heinous crime. It's only fair. But I want to mention this and, get in the comments, like, comment, subscribe, and we got to do better, black people. We got to come together more than ever before. We got to stand up and show force. We got to take it to them. And I'm not talking about protests. I'm talking about being strategic. We need to let our politicians, we need to let these paid public servants know that we're not going to tolerate abuse of our communities. We got to let them know. We have to be strong. We have to stop picking at each other over insignificant things. We need to stop finding little tidbits to go after each other on. We need to look at the big picture here and find out the bigger stakes that are, what's bigger at stake here, and see what's being perpetuated against us on a much larger scale. Because societally speaking, they're trying to eliminate us. This is serious. And some of you out there may be thinking, well, it's not me. Maybe it's not you, but it could very well be you. So like, comment, it could very well be somebody you love. It could be any one of us. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video, pass the word on. You know, get in the comments, let me know what you think. You know, I appreciate the subs I have. I've made up my mind, regardless of all the YouTube scrutiny on creators, I'm gonna get me a Patreon account, and I'm definitely gonna want some support. So once again, like, comment, subscribe, share this video. And once again, God loves you, I love you. Let's do life.